Hello, this is Susie from Bonsai Druid, and I just wanted to go over a package I got today and a couple packages I got a couple weeks ago from Stone Lantern Bonsai, Wayne's from Stone Lantern Bonsai. I just got some good deals. Usually around this time every year, I pick up some new stuff whenever I can. And this year I was able to pick up some new stuff. So I'm just going to share that with you. Little unboxing. So this came today. Usually my shipments from Stone Lantern are pretty, they come pretty quickly. Usually don't have to wait very long. So they had some new things. I don't know how new, but I hadn't seen these before there. Some plastic type pots that are mesh, well, poly all the way through the bottom. This is pretty thick. Feels pretty good. It's got almost like a sheen to the surface. It's not just my lighting. So that could look interesting. I got two sizes. Sometimes hard for me to judge until I'm very visual as far as that goes. I need to see the pots, even though I do love to measure everything. So this is the 7-inch. This is a 9-inch. In a minute I'll get one of my bonsai and take a look at how those fit. They both have the mesh bottom. This one here. You can see how shiny they are. Very textural on the surface. That was one thing I got. I got some oil for my tools that I've been purchasing over the last few years, adding to the tools that I've needed. This is the camellia oil, which is usually recommended. What I've always just used in the past was like just some regular machine oil. So this was one of the products that I was able to get. I picked up a root hook because it was on sale, a pretty good price, and I've been looking for one that was just one prong. Hoping one day I'll be able to splurge and get one from Bobcat Bonsai. Looks like the handle will be pretty good, but it's got just like the one tip I need for some of the bigger trees that I've been starting on, and I can see that I'm going to need something sturdier to work with those than what I'm currently using. And I've tried gardening products, and I just can't find the right fit. I think Tom Novak from Grow and Clip Bonsai for Seniors had what kind of looks like an old barbecue fork or a serving fork, like a fork for a roast or something. That looks pretty interesting. So I'm kind of keeping an eye out for a tool like that when I go shopping through garage sales or something like that. People throwing away a lot of old stuff. I got a root cutter because this was on a really good price. One of the bigger root cutters. Some of the hazels and oaks that I'm going to be working with are going to require stronger tools, and I don't want to wear out my smaller tools trying to do a big tools job. I do have some garden type ones that I've used, but I have noticed that for getting in at the root, up in the very right under the root ball there, their shape isn't always right. So this looks pretty heavy duty. I think it'll do a great job making my life easier. I got a wire brush. I think this was on sale too. It's very bright. I wasn't expecting it to be all metal. Thought just the bristles would be metal. Usually the ones I see are wooden handles. This is a lot nicer than I thought it was going to be. Usually I use old toothbrushes, but I'm finding that there's some stuff that I need actually a stronger brass brush for, so this is a really nice one. I like that handle. It feels good. See how it does when I'm actually using it. I had an assortment of sanding blocks for sharpening my new tools, and some other chisels and things that I've gotten, and a couple of saws. There's been a few times where I've found the need that I have to go beyond just shears, and I've actually were in need of a saw, and especially this saw, because it's small. There. Nice small. Finger saw. Very small. Look at that. Ooh, I like the handle. And I like how short this is, because some things that I want to cut are thick, but they're inside of trees. Complicated, like my Contorta hazel, Harry Lauder's walking stick. It's all corkscrew, and this would be much easier to get into some of those branches and clean out the interior without hacking off other stuff that I don't want to cut. And I also got a longer one. They were having good prices on these. Let me see if I can get this one all on the screen. Ooh. I'm terrible at finding it. There we go. There's the other end of it. I can't fit it in the frame. I'm terrible at this. Oh. Anyway. Here's the handle. It's got pretty nice teeth. They look sharp as heck. And the business end over here is pointy. But not actually sharp. So that was what was in the first box. And I had gotten a couple other things from another company. Lee Valley. I had gotten this called a slip strop for sharpening tools. I have not used it yet. At some point I will. And also made for made in Japan for Lee Valley. A set of nice little chisels. Let's see if I can get a background on that. This is the curved one. V angle, now flat, and a very tight little. You can even see how small that is. Very small. And the piece de resistance. The smallest little knob cutter that I could find. That's little. Like, my tiny little pinky finger can't get in there. That's small. I think its measure is like 6 inches. Oops, I can't get it in the frame here. Yep, I love these little tiny tools. Some of my trees just make it so much easier to get in there. So I'm looking forward to trying out all this new stuff and having some new videos now that the weather is starting to turn. Okay, well, hopefully third time's a charm, because this is the third time I've tried to do this part of the video. I just wanted to show you the pots that I talked about earlier that I got in my unboxing. So let's take a look at them. Okay, so to start off, this is a pot that I had gotten from Stone Lantern a while ago. It's like almost like a chalky milk chocolate color, and it's a matte finish of some type of plastic. I forget the name of it, that is resistant to the cold and freezing. So, and they're kind of thick. They're nice for being, not ceramic and stuff. They got little feet on this one. This is a 3-footer. So it went into this pot last year, I believe. It took a while to take, so it's finally, hopefully, going to do better this summer. These two pots are similar for this one. This one right here is the 7-inch one that I purchased. It's got like that drum style, but it's got like a sheen to the surface compared to this one's matte surface. The color is a little bit more red than this sort of faded chocolate milk color, and the sides are more straight up and down. This one cuts in a bit more and has that kind of like a lip. You can see the profile. There we go. It comes back in. So using this 7-inch pot would be underpotting this just a little bit, because this pot is quite a bit bigger than this one. However, the 9-inch version, same one, same design, actually fits quite nicely in here. The whole pot fits in, just fits in. And that, I can see, is still like a nice look for this particular tree. If it ever grows some primary branches, we'll be cooking with gas. Now this tree is over potted. It's a green Isle banyan. It's old. I've had it a long time. All these branches got really thick and heavy and swollen, and it just needed a reset. So I chopped it back. I may have to chop it back again because this is still super, super thick here. This one's over potted, and this one, the pomegranate that I have, is also over potted into these tie pots, which are pots I got from Stone Lantern Bonsai like years and years ago, and I just like them because they have the holes along the sides that allow air to the roots and good drainage on the bottom. They got the ties that I can use for guy wires when I just want to generally lower a branch or stabilize something. And I've noticed that they do well to allow things to be well drained but still not get dried out in a day. so they can make it through a day that I'm at work in the heat of summer, and I don't have to worry. You know, they'll at least be able to make it home, and they'll still may not need to be watered. That one and this one. Now they could go into smaller pots, but I am trying to fix the radial roots of these trees and improve their roots themselves, like the spread of the roots. They were damaged by fungus gnats for a long time, so they have like not the greatest roots. And I chopped this one off quite a bit. And I got all these cuttings that lived off of it. There's like 6, I think. And any of these could go into a pot like this, which is one that I reviewed earlier in a different video. I had gotten these from Costco, and they're about the right size to plant these in and still have room to grow and do something. These have nice little... They were real bendy branches to begin with when I had to cut them. So they're already at a nice start for shape as far as the trees. This one here is real nice. Trunk stuff going on there. This one, there's multiples in here. And there's quite a few good ones in there. Any of those could be potted, and I have a couple of these in round and a couple of these in square, around the same size. So I probably will use these to pot these up. Like either this one or the pomegranate could go into a pot this size, but I feel like I would be depriving it and worried about it all through the summer. I'm not really ready to trust it to that shallow of a pot just yet. Let's see if I can get this on the camera. You can see the height difference there. Now granted, the soil in here is only up to there inside this pot. It's below these guy wires. I mainly have been using round pots in order to what I feel will facilitate a better radial spread of roots. I have a lot of trees that have roots on like one side, or there's a whole chunk of an area that does not have roots. The pomegranate also, it's in a pot that's probably bigger than it needs to be. It'd probably look better in a different pot, but it would also look better if it didn't have the chunky branches I ended. Like here's another one, this big, thick. See how thick that is. These two aren't too bad. They're not in the greatest shape or form. This one I like the best. So I'm still debating on whether I should cut this. I don't know what'll happen to cut that big of a branch off of this pomegranate. If it will make new growth there, or if I cut this off, will this whole side die back and I not have anything there? Which so far is what happens to this tree, which is an orange jasmine that had a weird growth that wasn't, it just had to go. I cut it here, but I don't have any growth that ever came from this spot here or this spot here. I'll show you the tops. Oops. If you can see that. See how it only goes one side, up and over, up and over. This has not produced any new growth from this cut or from this previous cut. So he's one-sided. But he does have a nice little root thing going on down here. Funny thing is, I've had this tree for quite a long time, and it's always just stayed skinny like this, and slow growth. It'll get full, but it never really develops much dense, like no girth down here. So that's the rundown. Again, with the pomegranate, I think I can't go quite that low. The soil in this pot, oops. Can't go quite that low. Not yet. Yeah, until I get better roots. Well, thank you for hanging out with me during my unboxing, and hopefully I will be getting some videos going pretty soon where I take care of some of these little ficuses and get them into some new experimentally pots. See you again on Bonsai Druid.